Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Centurions. It's me, your boy Eli.
And it's your boy Daniel.
Yes, Daniel, how have you been, buddy?
It's been alright. One day at a time throughout this stuff.
Right. I mean, we have an interesting topic today, and this is coming from two people. I was thinking about getting Joey in here too, but he felt like he can talk more about this specific scene specifically. Um, but what we're talking about today is the FGC, or as more commonly known as, or well, it's mostly known. It's abbreviation of the fighting game community, FGC. And well, Dan, you're a fan of Street Fighter, right?
I am a fan of Street Fighter.
Yeah, you excited for that Street Fighter Five announcements that came out the other day?
See, yes. I only wish to put in my Kagar.
I saw that. I saw you tweet that, and I was like, yeah, I could see that. We got Cody, we just need Mike.
Yeah, we have Guy and Cody in there.
Mm-hmm. We have both of those dudes,
No,
and
even Abigail's in there now.
really? Is she?
No, yeah, like dude, it's the big giant monster. Like he's even bigger than Zangief. He has like tires around his arms.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, no, dude, I have I don't have a PS5, PlayStation 4, so I can't really play it because apparently they made it exclusive, which is dumb.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well,
I
even
don't feel like
Poison's in there.
I know Poison's in there. You can't have a Street Fighter game without Poison. It's like the thing with
I mean,
Hugo. You can't have
but she came from the same franchise as Mike from Final Fight.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But before we start rambling on about Street Fighter and all that stuff, but if anyone who's listening to this knows about Street Fighter, this is probably one of the more interesting aspects of what we're going to talk about. And again, at the FGC, and Street Fighter is probably one of the more prevalent games to go along with it. But Daniel, give us a quick explanation of what the FGC is, and I'll add on my 2 cents afterwards.
Uh, in a sense, it's kind of just like a fandom, but with fighting games, and you got different fans of fighting games altogether as well. Like you got the more mainstream ones, like from Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken's, to the more of the anime fast-paced fighters such as Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, Under Night, and you even get the indie fighting games such as
Mm-hmm.
the Skullgirls, them fighting herds.
Mm-hmm. That was a weird one to find out about them fighting herds.
Yeah, interesting story, but really fun game. Try it out.
Really? Yeah, I would imagine if it's based on what the Skullgirls mechanics, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, we're getting too deep into this, but essentially, to go along with what Daniel said, it is essentially as it says, a community of people who enjoy fighting games. So whether it be Street Fighter, Final Fight, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Soul Calibur, and basically any fighting game you've seen where it's just two dudes and they're just like in the screen and there's a health bar and whatever, and you gotta beat each other to death and KO kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That is a fighting game, and this is a community that is centered around those kind of games. And chances are, I'm pretty sure most people who are listening to this, or people who just happen to stumble by, have at least heard of Street Fighter and at least know how those kind of games work. So you would see, so essentially, take that and go and make a community out of it. That is essentially what it is. It's the basis, but there's a lot more to it. But we're gonna break it down as we go. But to start it off, how does one get into the FGC, Daniel? How does it do it? I like Street Fighter, but how do I get into the FGC?
It's very quite simple. Do you just like fighting games in general? You like watching people playing fighting game tournaments or anything like that? Then you're already part of the FGC. Simple as that.
There's no real like requirements. It's like you love fighting games. You like playing Mortal Kombat as Scorpion and going up against whatever character. Hey man, go check out this guy named Sonic Fox. He's a top player, and he'll do stuff that you're like, I didn't even know I could do that with like Scorpion. What?
Mm-hmm.
You tell me I can do this, and that? What? Dude, that's crazy. I don't know if I have the time. It's all right because just sit and enjoy it because usually it's what it is. But let's quit. But let's talk about how it all got started. So FGC is technically kind of like an esports, really, as it goes along. But let's talk about how that started. And Daniel, I think, do you know how the origins of the FGC, or basically how
Well,
it all came to be?
well, to start with the origins, we would have to go all the way back to the '80s when fighting games were becoming popular, we were seeing Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and other fighting games, popping up all over the
Well,
arcades.
more of Street Fighter than Mortal Kombat. Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat didn't come out in the
like
'90s.
Street Fighter started out the trend, and then you're seeing people like lining up, arcades, trying to beat this one guy who has like
Hmm.
maybe like 10 wins already, trying to see who's the best. And
Hmm.
then over time, we grew over to other games, and then they had an idea. It's like, hey, let's see who's the best, and then we started having tournaments from like from a town size, and then to state size, and then now national and even worldwide.
Yeah, it was, and when you go into like FGC, this, and I had to do some research on this, and I really wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about, and I understood where all this come from. Really, if you want to look, and as you said, if you want to look at the origins of FGC, it's in the arcades, dude. Back in the old arcade, places where your kids would go in and play games. Like you said, Street Fighter. That was the big one because everyone was playing Street Fighter. There was always a Ryu and a Ken Main and all that kind of stuff. There's even like arcade. Not I won't say arcade rules, but like like you want like that you had a line when someone put a quarter on the screen dangling there.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying like, "Hey, I'm next." That was the culture around in the arcade scene,
Yeah, it was.
and so that's where the original started. And essentially, like you said, it became more of a town thing. Hey, you heard of a Mikey G over there, dude? Mikey's like the best at Street Fighter, dude. I've never seen a guy be able to do all that crazy stuff with Ken, and like no one's been able to beat him. And then you hear about like I don't know, Zeke or whatever. I come up with random names right now.
Yeah.
And like then the next town over, and he's like the best at Guile, and you're like, yo, I kind of want to see what I want. Yo, you'd be like, yo, Mikey, can you beat the Zeke over there? And then you get this sort of community centered around not just this one guy, but just the love of the game. And then as it is again, me doing research, as I find out, towards the '90s, when it became more, like as you said, statewide. And I think it started off in California, right? The SoCal.
Let's see. Yeah, I think that's where it started to begin. Like they started like to form up some kind of big tournament, like on a
Hmm.
bigger scale for fighting games.
Yeah, SoCal, California, right? Or is
Yeah,
it?
I know it's in California. I don't remember exactly where, but California is where it started.
Listen, we're Texans. We don't know much about California. All I know is that there's a Disneyland, there's a Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. And Whataburger is better than In-N-Out.
Yeah, it is.
Controversial opinions aside,
Controversial opinion aside, that it was I found this out like the big moment for a lot of fighting games was around I want to say it was Third Strike for Street Fighter. Was it? I think it was Third Strike
yeah,
where
like two. It was like the beginning of it, and then it started like popping out with Street Fighter Third Strike.
yeah, and that's when you start seeing more people like coming together and like starting to see not just who's the best, but like sort of like grow around like what can we learn from each other? Because I think it was I can't remember his like gamer tag or whatever like his game name, but it was a guy by the name of Alex Valle. You know, it was him. He was like the basically the big American guy from this when it's only just in South Korea. He was the best player in like the whole region, or I guess or whatever you however you want to call it. And then they got this guy from Japan, Daigo Umahara,
Mm-hmm.
who is like if you were to look these two guys up, they're still in the scene and they're like the most well respected people ever. And that was the first time we got to see sort of the East versus West kind of thing with within Street Fighter, and that sort of brought in the idea of like we can take this anywhere, guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is we're showing our love for the game. This is them. This is like the love of the game, really. This is like you being able to share your love for this fighting game with other people, and especially now with people from the other side of the world now. And Daigo won because Daigo, he's still the best even now.
Yeah, just look up
So,
Evo Moment 37.
oh my god, that is
Like with the
as
Daigo
someone who's
Parry.
I've never played Third Strike. Okay, I just recently got the 30th anniversary collection just because like you know what, it has all the classic Street Fighter games, and like I want to try out Third Strike. I played four, I played two, I played two too damn long because that's the only one I know. And I was like, Third Strike I heard is like one of the best. I remember playing it once in the arcade over in Austin, and I love the animation, the sprites and stuff. And then I was like, okay, let me try out this. And then there's like this sort of weird thing in the game where you can like parry, where like it looks so if you defend, you still get hit, you still get a little bit of damage, and but if you parry, you don't. And it was like the big Evo, and we'll talk about Evo in a minute because that's like a big talk. Um, Evo 137 was when these two dudes, again from the U.S. from Japan, Daigo was there, the Japanese representative, and we had Justin Wong, who's another mainstay. By the way, we're going to be talking about a bunch of names, so bear with us. But thankfully, they're at least memorable names because Justin is a very generic name. Not to diss my boy Justin Wong, who I did get to see at Palooza. That was awesome. Um, it was the finals. Justin Wong was like beating Daigo, and Daigo was like at least 5% health left. Any hit would have caused them a loss. Like there's a special, and like Justin hit him with like the super special with Chung Li, with the kicks, those fast kicks. Like there's 15 hits or whatever, and Daigo was able to parry all 15 hits with his Ken. Hit him with a combo, ended with a finisher, and it blew my mind the first time I saw it.
Yeah, like it was
Like
one of the most the biggest comebacks I've seen, and it still is one of the biggest comebacks I've seen to this
it
day.
is etched into legend basically now. And who knows, I might start because there's a YouTube version of this and there's the audio version. Maybe I'll start linking sort of each every moment we talk about, like say the Evo moment 37. I might just leave a link. Here's what it looks like. Sorry guys, the quality is a little bad because this is like what, early 2000s or something.
Like they have an HD version out there now.
They do? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
I'll try
crystal
to
clear now.
I'll try to get people that, but look it up and you see that, and the crowd reaction. That is the FGC, man. That is the FGC is just coming together and enjoying just a huge amount of love for fighting games, and that's basically what it is. And I guess we can start talking about like the FGC, not just as like just as the community itself, because the FGC um sort of stands on its own when it comes to like gaming communities, you know,
Mhm.
because I don't know. I'll let you take this over. I'll let you speak your piece for what is the FGC as a I mean, what is the FGC as a community to you? I guess that's what I'm asking you.
Like pretty much of it is just a group of fans that just love fighting games and just shows like a deep passion and appreciation for
Mm-hmm.
it. Uh, that's pretty much it. Like you see like different kinds of fighting fans too, like the ones that are always labbing, showing like some insane combos. Seeing like
Mm-hmm.
the underdog entering tournaments, trying to be the best and making like maybe a surprise win. But
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. I think what you just said there is like there's always kind of like a story, because I remember, again, I might link this up, so don't worry to all our if you don't know what we're talking about. But there was a recent story in the Tekken scene. So if you guys know about Tekken, it's like a 3D fighter. You got all these like you can move around the stage and stuff. Um, and it started off. I think his name was Arslan,
let's see. Uh,
the Pakistani dude.
I think that was him.
Yeah,
I might be
Arslan.
wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's Arslan. But this is a great story about Arslan. He's this kid from Pakistan who's been playing Tekken like for a long time, and he caught the eye of a sponsor, right? Some
Mhm.
dude, a guy who was like who pays people for playing Tekken and stuff like that to go to tournaments, because that is a thing, and we can go into that as we go. And he got invited to go to Evo Japan, which is which is the Evo of Japan. Basically, they made that recently, and the story goes is that he couldn't go because he didn't have a visa
Mm.
to go. And so what he ended up doing, or what the people ended up doing, is like they basically have to find a way for him to fly through multiple planes, but he kept getting stopped every single time. And he was supposed to arrive to Japan 3 days before the event started, and he got stopped so many times that he ended up not having much sleep, not much food in him, and he ended up getting there at least 30 minutes before the start of the tournament, and he went in there and just kicked ass, dude. He came in and just like he was literally a starving underdog. He's the starving, and he just went in there and started kicking people's butts. And it's at this moment that you realize that a lot of the Tekken players. So first of all, Tekken is a very popular fighting game. Yeah, um, it's super popular in Korea. All the best players are from Korea and stuff. Like that, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's where you would find the best players.
Yeah, if you want to get your ass kicked by the best players, you would go to South Korea.
Until now,
Yeah,
because like as we find out from Arslan, like apparently Pakistan is now the big Tekken scene, where apparently they were always super good, and they have their own little way of playing Tekken that just no one's been able to crack so far. And that's what I mean by like as a community, because there's always gonna be that underdog story, but there's always like these group of people that sort of resonate with the game and like are able to do stuff. Like I said, Korea, they were the Tekken guys. Now it's Pakistani. You can find that in any kind of game. Like, oh, these guys, they're Hispanic, but that doesn't say. I'm not saying that they are immediately the good ones, but like they have a community set around it, and they are able to do amazing stuff with it. Arslan, he's from Pakistan. He's from Pakistan, and a lot of the Pakistani players are actually really good at the game because they have built a community out of it. Same thing with Japan when it comes to their fighting games, like not Street Fighter and like basically any Arc system games, basically like Dragon Ball Fighters, um, Guilty Gear, and Unis. And over here we have like a lot of the Mortal Kombat fans, and you any like fighting game from around the world, any fighting game that's out that people can get their hands on from around the world, you'll be able to find it. Like Smash, they're kind of their own little thing, the Smash community.
Yeah.
But like, holy crap, the fact that we had a player from Mexico, my boy MK Leo, my boy, and he came in out of nowhere, and technically he started off pretty early in his life, but like he came in, kicked ass, and became like the number one player of Smash Bros Ultimate, and just knowing that, hey, this is a dude who's like from Mexico going up against a kid from France, from Japan, from the US, and he came out on top. That shows you the community. These are people, like, yeah, no, like I just said, Smash is its own little thing, but like as a fighting in community, you would find stuff like that. Where I think one of the best players right now for Tekken, another good player for Tekken, Super Akuma, he's like from France, and as he said, he's a Kuma main.
Yeah.
By the way, for a reason they put a Street Fighter character in Tekken, and that was fun. I can tell you that. And now now he became like well known, and he's like one of the best players. A kid from France, and he went up against a kid from Pakistan, from the US. It's so like it's not a small thing. You would find them anywhere, and that's the beauty of that community. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say with that, Daniel? I feel like I took over for a long time.
It's like no, but yeah, like I agree with what you say. Like fighting game communities, they all come from different backgrounds. Just like you said, they could be from Pakistan, Mexico, Japan, U.S. I mean, like yeah, there's all different kind of stories out there. You can go and watch and see.
Yeah, and by the way, it's not just guys; it's women too. Like I think who's the best player? I know one of the best players for Soul Calibur is a girl, but I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I need to look up this girl's name too. Like she was really good at Tekken. I even seen with like some of her videos online as well.
Yeah, she's also from Korea, but I don't know. They have something going on over there. They have something in the water. I swear to God. But it's like I said, it's a community. You find so many people from different walks of life, genders, ages. I think there was wasn't there like a 8-year-old killer
I think so.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's also like people that you wouldn't expect to be amazing at fighting games, like Broly Legs. He's one of the best Street Fighter players out there, I think.
Hmm. By the way, the 8-year killer. He calls himself that because when he entered the tournament, he was 8 years old,
Hmm.
and he was pretty good for an 8-year old.
Yeah.
I recall he almost made it to finals, or did he?
I'm not familiar with that kid.
But you've heard of him though.
Yeah, I heard of him, but I'm not that familiar with him.
Yeah, and Wheels from Killer Instinct.
Hmm.
There's a guy named, he calls himself Wheels because he's handicapped. He can't really use his arms much,
Yeah.
and he can't walk. But he found a way, and it's one of the most beautiful stories I've seen. He found a way to be one of the best Killer Instinct players in the game. He's like one of the top 8 players, and literally, I think there was a time where I can't remember which. I think it was Combo Breaker,
Hmm.
where he came in and he just started. I think it was him, or it was either him or somebody else. I can't remember who it was. But they were both playing two Aganos, two big heavy set characters, and they just like did some crazy stuff that as a Killer Instinct player, I'm like, no,
Yeah.
stop. I'm scared. That frightens me. No. God. But no, like I said, there's so many people from different walks of life, different cultures and stuff, and we're all like just gathered around our love for fighting games, really.
Hmm.
And we'll talk more about how big that community is as we go along. Um, because I think that recently there was a lot of cool stuff. Um, of course, we just started talking about tournaments and stuff like that. So people are always going to start thinking about, so is this different from esports? And I would say it's not. Kind of it is, but it's not really that different. I don't know. What do you think, Daniel?
I mean, it's just like sports in general. I mean, like there's soccer, there's football, there's hockey,
Mm-hmm.
and then with esports, you got MOBAs, you got fighting games, you got card games. I mean, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different kind of game.
Yeah, I think the thing is, they hold themselves differently from a lot of esports, though, because you don't really. Cause the way I'm thinking is like, so like, what's one of the big esports games out right now that isn't fighting games? League of Legends, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Or Fortnite. Those games are usually compiled with a big group that needs to like either work together or you kind of have to do your own little thing. I think with fighting games, it's a very mono a mono kind of thing.
Hmm.
It's kind of like how I wouldn't like how it's like how people feel. It's like how boxing is different from like say soccer.
Yeah.
Not just like I mean, yeah, they're both sports. Like I'm saying, the FGC and esports, they're basically the same thing, but they're just two different. At the same time, they're kind of two different animals where things work differently for a boxer than it would a soccer player. Soccer player has to rely on people. Boxer has to rely on his coaches, his workout method, and his mentality and like how to handle the fight. And that's kind of how you see in a lot of FGC guys, because like what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of thing like you don't there isn't really any teams in the FGC unless it's like a double 2 player like something like Street Fighter X Tekken
Yeah.
where
Like
it's like
it's. I think it's more common with maybe Smash Brothers, but
yeah.
yeah, each person and the FGG is their own thing. Like,
Mm.
yes, they do get some sponsors, but it's usually just their own person. That it's rarely a
Mm-hmm.
team at all.
Because the reason I put this is because like I remember there was a conversation that a player named Yipes who basically he plays and he also commentates a lot. He's
Hmm.
basically one of the best commentators I've seen in my life. Good lord, he knows how to hype it up.
Yeah.
Him and Hell Pockets, like but he made this comment that I've been in the FGC for so long, it's not even I don't really consider it to be esports or kind of stuff, and I'm just like, well, how does that work? And which is why I put the question on here, which is understanding where he comes from that it's a little different. I think it's more of a community
Hmm.
than it is a sport. That it's still they still are able to do a lot of like sports stuff.
Yeah.
Like the sport, more like there's a lot of hype around. It's excited as many people would see a soccer game or League of Legends play. But, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, I do. I will say like there's one big difference between I guess you could even apply that to like bigger esports such as like League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, in League, if you have a favorite team, you're more likely going to support that team throughout the whole match, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what. And then with fighting games, yeah, like you have your favorite fighters, like oh, I like this guy, he's the better fighter. And then suddenly, for example, I forgot what was this guy's name, but I think they were fighting again. They were fighting each other again on a tournament, and I think it was like a grudge match or something. Might be wrong, but out of nowhere, he decides to switch his main to a different character, something that he never plays at all, and then people started going for him instead, and that's kind of the hype behind it, because like you weren't expecting him to switch from his main to like a completely different character that he may never use at all.
By the way, when we mean main, we mean like the character you often play as in a fighting game. So if it's going with Street Fighter logic, I think one of the best ones is like I mostly play Ken because Ken is the faster Ryu and he does a deal with more damage. And really, I'm more of a Kuma guy because that's what I like Akuma's playstyle. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. It's like if all of a sudden, you know, Mayweather stopped running away and he started actually boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Shots fired. No, I'm just kidding. I respect Floyd and the stuff he does, but I think, yeah, I think that's one of the best ones to think of. Like it's we all support. We're all kind of supportive in a way, and if even if when something like tragic happens, we come together in ways that you kind of wouldn't see in a community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oftentimes, especially I think in the gaming culture, we're so quick to um, give blame and like not want to hear other people's thoughts and opinions all the time. Not saying it's a not saying it happens a lot, but you'll see it once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like it just happens. And the reason I talk about it is because like so there was a recent thing that happened in the FGC, and Daniel and I we bounced back and forth on whether or not we should talk about this because we don't even know if we're allowed to or such. Not that I'm allowed to, but more like um, not even sure we'd be the right people to talk about it. But in a way, I guess it's we found a way to talk about it in a way that's not so bad. But I think we'll start off with something. The way we'll start off is this way. Um, Evo, which is short for evolution, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, evolution is, and it's like to sum it up to the people who don't know what this is. It is essentially the Super Bowl of the FGC. It's the Super Bowl of fighting games,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll have a bunch of different fighting games. There's some mainline ones, and there's usually like what 9 games.
Yeah, like they do have like usually like about 8 to 9 games as the main event, but they do have some side
Mhm.
games as well.
Yeah, and it's like a 3 to 4 day event. It's always held in Las Vegas, and it's gotten so big that they can even rent out the Mandalay Bay, where you would find all these big boxing matches or MMA matches, and it's really the one of the best examples of the FGC, where you would go in and find so many people um, that share the same love for fighting games as you do. Heck, there's even an arcade. There's even a arcade stick culture in there, and so you would come in and enjoy yourself, watch the best players play, and it's an open tournament too. You and I could enter,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about that in a minute because we tried to. But one of the more well known, and it's head by some well known, respectable people. But recently, and this is probably one of the most interesting weeks that happened, and it was in the first week of July of this year. Um, we were hit with sad news about no, not sad. I don't want to say sad. I want to say horrific, tragic news of one of the more well known um, personalities for Evo, in which he did some very heinous things with people who are underage, and it's hard to say. I'm not gonna say that what happened exactly. I think it's best for you guys to go check that out.
I mean,
Just I guess
um,
you can type in.
like chances are you may have heard of it as well. It's like one of the biggest news that broke out, and I think even other outside sources like IGN and GameSpot, it was big enough to be on their page and everything.
Hmm. I mean, I don't know if it made to like news,
But
but like,
like I know it did for Japanese news, but I think maybe like a few outlets, but I'm not sure.
hmm. But I mean, I implore you guys, if you guys want to go check it out, I'm not gonna stop you guys. Go ahead.
Yeah,
But it was one of the most saddest moments for Evo, and like I said, when I mean it's the Super Bowl of the fighting game community, it's like imagine all the love and effort that as a football fan you would see at a Super Bowl event. The tailgating, the music, the hype, the love of a team, of your team. If it got in there, chances are Texans aren't going to get in there anytime soon. But that's my own problem, not anyone else's. But it's like seeing that, and then all of a sudden you find out something horrible about someone who you respected, and then it's just gone. And Evo, like I mean, Evo is that big one for it. Like, and because of current events situations, it was canceled first of all. Then there was a chance to have it back online because there's a whole online thing that we might talk about. We don't know yet, but it's when that news broke out, it broke a lot of people's hearts, and they all just immediately like just wanted to not talk about you. Well, not talk about, but like if you signed up for their online tournaments, you just immediately just left. I saw the number dwindle so fast, and they eventually canceled the whole thing. And it was probably the most. It's not. It's tragic for the fans. It's horrific for the things that happen to those people, and you know, it's just tragic. I can't really say anything much about it. I don't know if you have anything to say about it. Go ahead, man.
I mean, I you pretty much I said everything that I would have said. I mean, it just came out of the nowhere. It just came as a shock. I really couldn't believe like all of the stuff that was happening behind the scenes and everything. And
Hmm. Yeah, and it wasn't just the FGC; it was also the Smash community. And I said it before that they have their own. We're kind of the FGC and the Smash community are kind of tied together. Their own. I mean, Smash is their own separate thing. It's just everything just went to hell in that one week, and it was so tragic. And it was a week before the actual Evo Online event was going to happen too. That's the that's the sad thing. We were finally gonna get our everyone's Evo moment because, like I said, it's a community. Every fighting game guy, every guy who's into the FGC is always excited for Evo. It's the big thing because usually when it comes to Evo, oh man, I get to see all my friends. I get to see the best players play, and oftentimes they do like these big announcements for the new fighting game coming out or like a new character or whatever kind of stuff. And you get this sad news that it's not gonna happen because someone fucked up. But and this is why I was so looking forward to talking about this episode is because one of the beautiful things that happened, all this horrible stuff happened, but something, in the one light at the end of this dark tunnel, which it was just how the community acted. We, the fighting game community, you know, they supported the victims. They canceled like literally one by one. People like I'm saying when people like dropped out of the Evo Online thing, it was in swarms. The promoters dropped out. They're like, we're not supportive of this. The big players dropped out. A lot of big known like guys in the FGC also dropped out
yeah,
one
like
by one, and everyone's like, we cannot support this, and they all rallied together in not supporting Evo. Now, whether or not we'll have Evo next year under because it's under new management, basically, we don't know. But a lot of people, and there's a lot of people who are saying Evo does not define the FGC community. The FGC community is defined by the people that love and respect fighting games. And I thought that was probably one of the most beautiful sense of community I've ever seen. And I don't know, I'll let you go on from here, but that I just thought that was a very bright and beautiful scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what Maximillian said. Evil does not define the FGC. I mean, Max himself does not, he's not the leader or the guy that says this and that, and that's how it's supposed to be in an FGC.
Mm-hmm.
What the FGC is pretty much everyone coming together, just playing fighting games, just supporting each other and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do know, like, after the cancellation of Evo Online, like there was a Killer Instinct Discord group that Killer Instinct players that were going to play, they were invited to, and they were setting up their own charity tournament.
Mm-hmm. Because it was the Evo Online thing was a free thing. It was free, and you could pay money, and it goes to like helping out research for Corona. And because of the thing, they all reimbursed, from what I've known, and they still decided to pay off the same amount of money to the amount of money they got received to the people they promised to donate to. And you're right, they're like, screw Evo, if we can't play it, we'll do our own thing, and we'll do it in support of this other thing.
I mean, like, Evo wasn't always there at the beginning.
Yeah.
There was always been a fighting community from the very beginning, from like the origins where Street Fighter 2 was becoming popular and popularizing fighting games in general, and to right now, like Killer Instinct. I believe their last update for was season 3 back in 2013, and we went through like almost no wait, no, I think
it was dry. It was a dry season in the online.
Yeah,
it was online.
But either way, the point is like after the last the third season, and we never heard from Killer Instinct again. It was basically a finished game, and did people stop playing the game? No, of course not. People love Killer Instinct. I love Killer Instinct. Eli likes Killer Instinct. We're still playing it.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah, I still played it this day. And so, and like when it was announced, and don't get me wrong, when it was announced for Evo Online, I was hyped. I started really getting back into the game, working my ass off to get into it. And like there was a huge resurgence on the online community. It was like, we're back, guys, we're back. And this, when it turned out it wasn't going to happen because of one guy, we're like, well, screw that, we're all back. Let's do it. Let's make our own little tournament. And then they're bringing back Killer Instinct World Cup, and I'm just like, that's awesome. This community is able to rally together in like the darkest time, and we're still able to put out amazing content in a way that supports everyone who loves this one specific game, this one specific genre. And that has always like made me really enjoy that much of the FGC. And you're right, Max, who's a huge Maximillian Dood, who's a huge YouTube personality. It was a YouTube personality when it comes to fighting games, and he's well respected in the community. When he released that video about the FGC, the situation with FGC, he said the best words I think I could ever say. It's not Evo's is a great tournament, but it doesn't define us. It defines us as like you said, like what I said and what you said. It's the people that we make friends with, and I can tell you how many times that I've been to tournaments and made like, I wouldn't say they're not close friends, but just the fact that I was able to bond with people over a fighting game, and that's like, what? Yeah. And it's crazy, yeah. But and it tells you the staying power for this. It's not just just a game. It's just not just like a game you can just throw away. It's not a game that comes in once in a while. Heck, if we're going back with the Smash example, there are people still playing Melee, which came out in like 2002.
Yeah, people like they love it so much. They made like a ROM hack version of it just to play it online with rollback. That's how much love that
right.
has.
And rollback is like something that people have been clamoring about to a lot of these to a lot of fighting games to do.
Yeah,
and who knows, we might talk about that too.
Yeah, I mean, even some more niche fighting games like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure from Capcom. To this day, they're using 5K just to play online with each other because that's just how much they love the game.
Okay, you want to know what one of the most weirdest fighting games I found out that still has support? This is Sailor Moon fighting game.
That's right. I completely forgot it. There's a Sailor Moon fighting game, and
Sailor Moon, the girl, there's the cute girl dressing whatever anime that is like the most girly thing ever has a fighting game, and all the guys are playing it are like super hyped about it, and it's like one of the more popular like underground fighting games, and I'm just like, what is going on?
Like as you can see there, like fighting games. I mean, there's a community for almost everything, even some probably some obscure as a like a shoujo anime that I'm not really interested in, like Sailor Moon.
Hmm. And I'll be honest, I've seen some of the matches for that. Okay, why is this hype? Why am I excited of watching two like super powered anime girls fighting? Why is this a thing? I'm so concerned. No, I'm just kidding. But it's amazing just how much people emphasize the love of fighting games. And I think probably like to go on, maybe we should just talk about to bring into lighter notes, because this whole episode is just us talking about the AGC in a way that makes it easier for people who never knew about the AGC to understand. And I hope we're doing a great job of that. But essentially, let's go into like relationships that you and I, Daniel, have had with the FGC, in the FGC, at any tournaments we've ever been to, any kind of fun stuff that we can talk about. I'll let you go first.
Hey, uh, never really entered tournaments. I want to do more of that though, but most of my stories are coming from online. I'll be going online,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when like before then, I love fighting games, and then I think it was Maximillian. He got me the interest of trying to
Are
be
we
good
gonna end up
at
talking
trying to
about
be badass
Maximilian
in
throughout this
games.
episode? Probably.
Yeah, like he's a good dude. He's laid back, he's chill. He's just a fun. He's just really a cool guy.
Yeah, Maximilian. He's like, I think he's not the face of the FGC, but he's like the the well respected guy that everyone looks to, who always gives you great information about fighting games and just shows you the love he has for them. I mean, he's the one who taught me about rollback netcode, which is this way cool, which is the thing that we all want because it makes the online experience so much easier. But some developers, specifically Japan, doesn't want to do.
And I forgot what was the name of this YouTube channel. Let me look this up. They recently just released a video explaining what rollback is and how it can
Oh,
benefit fighting games.
Korea Gaming.
Yeah, Core Gaming. That's what it was.
Yeah, look those guys up. Those guys are amazing. They make you understand fighting games in a way that you probably would never thought of. Especially what was it? The effects of salt.
Yeah, the effects of
Like
salt,
why
the
being
differences
salty?
between fight sticks and game pads.
Yeah. By the way, salty means like someone who's upset at a loss or upset at the game. But yeah, no, the arcade sticks and the difference between arcade sticks and say like controllers.
Hmm.
That's like what? Like you wouldn't think of that.
Yeah,
Heck, it even inspired me to go out and like maybe even purchase a arcade stick because I just want to have the feel for it. I want that old school feeling of when I was at the arcade as a kid. Just
yeah,
like
man. Cause like arcade sticks, like that's where I first started playing fighting games for the arcade. So I had to get a fight stick.
oh, that looks good.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a great fight stick. I love it. But yeah, like it's been so long since I've been in the arcades. That's kind of hard to find them these days. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Heck, I found out this old Washington or whatever
Hmm.
still has like the old like arcades that I played when I was a kid when I went there.
Yeah.
I went there one day and I was like, I'm gonna play Street Fighter 2. Oh my god, they did not take good care of these arcade sticks.
No.
Oh my god, the stick I hold back and still won't be able to block.
Yeah.
Why can't I move? Why can't I block? Wait, this only works on one side, but I can't block that one side. I'm gonna get hit.
Yeah.
I can't do a Hadoken? What? No. Stop. But it was still fun to play. And I also admit that I never won a damn match because that kind of stick didn't work for me. But it was fun.
Yeah.
I would say personally for me, I would say I've been in a little more tournaments than you,
Hmm.
whether it be fighting games or Smash. I'll always remember the first Killer Instinct tournament I went to, and it was at Compalooza. I think it was 2018, 2017. But and there was it was not just that, it was also a Dragon Ball Fighters tournament. Oh my god, the Dragon Ball Fighters tournament, there was like 50 people. And I think they want to be more. We had to and apparently from what I understood, it lasted till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
My God.
Yeah, they started like around 5 p.m. Went to 2 o'clock. No, I honestly started later. But I remember I went in, um, went to practice. Practice with some kids, who were some were older, some were younger than me, and we're all having fun. And then they call us up, and we're doing all this cool stuff. There's a guy who called us with the real Gohan, and he before every match he would go like he would do the Gohan scream like in the game. You can do the scream and stuff, and it powers you up. Dragon Ball Z, obviously,
Yeah.
and before every match he would do that, and it got annoying to the tournament organizers. They're like, "Can you please stop?" And he's like, "No, I'm gonna keep on screaming." Ah! And I'm just like, "Oh my god!" And I remember I went into this match with this one dude and I lost, and I had to wait for my second go because in fighting game tournaments you have two chances. If you lose both chances, you're out. And on my set, and I lost both chances to this one guy. And I mean, like not the same guy, but this one guy who the second time I lost to was like, he was telling me like, "Hey, I came in with my wife and kids, and it's getting late, so I might just tell them to let you go ahead and you can go, you can go and continue in my place, and you can have fun. I'm gonna go home." And I found it weird because like his mom was also there. Like it was his family, his wife, kids, and his mom at Common Palooza. Which I mean, I'm not judging, but like the fact that he was talking to the tournament organizer and was saying, "Hey, man, I'm gonna talk to them to make sure that me, are able to continue playing." And apparently, from his mom, when his mom was like, "No, you go and win this. You go and win this whole thing. I want you to go in and win. Screw that loser." She didn't say that, but that's how it felt. Screw that loser and just keep going. And I was just like, guess I'm going home. And it was just like one of the funniest moments that I've ever had. And the like 2 days later, I entered the Killer Instinct tournament, which wasn't as exciting because it's only 10 people. Made a third place, but it was only 10 people. But I was able to bond with like the top two players and stuff, and they taught me more about the character that I was playing than I actually thought I could do. My brother got a little mad at me though at the tournament. I'll say that
Oh.
because there was a kid who was like, I want to say he was in middle school at least, and I like mopped the floor with him. And my brother was like, "Come on, man, he's a kid. Could have been at least nicer." And I'm like, I complimented him. I was like, "Dude, you could make it good. I just happen to be better." But I guess that's not as nice
Yeah.
to say. But now, I think the tournament stuff is like one of the best things I ever experienced within the FGC. Like there was a Smash tournament I went to. Holy crap, the amount of people there, and like you'll start seeing a bunch of different characters at tournaments. I'll tell you that, and it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I believe it was last year at
Um,
Comic Palooza. Like, I think Mewtwo King was there.
yeah, that's the one I was in. Mewtwo King was there, and he's a very well known fighting Smash Bros. Player. And I was like, "Oh my god, that's Mewtwo King." He's like 4 seats down. Should I say hi? And he was in the middle of a match, and I was like, "You know what? I'll just leave him there. I'll just leave him there." But it was cool to have. Also saw Justin Wong because he was commentating on a Street Fighter V tournament that was going on at the same time. That was
Mm-hmm.
like invitational only, so I couldn't really sign up.
Uh,
I mean, I'm bad at Street Fighter V, so I can't really say I would have made it far. But no, it was pretty cool. Um, I mean, Daniel, you and I both signed up for Killer Instinct for Evo Online back when it was going to be a thing.
yeah.
That was a fun experience.
Yeah, like, we were both hyped. We were getting excited. We were pretty much training as much as we could. And
Yeah,
then,
with each other at the time too.
yeah.
We were learning about the stuff of the game. We talked about what you could do. I remember I told you about a trick that I saw people do with the one of the characters Jago, and you were like, "I could do that." Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, like I didn't know, like I just canceled the grab and into something else, starting a combo.
Yeah, and it was crazy. And like, how many people signed up for Killer Instinct for just the US bracket?
But the
It was like
US,
1,000, right?
yeah, like at least like 1,100, I think.
Yeah, and I was just like, Daniel, we're gonna go to war.
Like, yeah, it's like two of us against 1,000 of them.
It would have been awesome.
It, it would have been.
Would have been, but there's always another time.
Yeah.
But you know, this is what I'm saying about just like the idea of community and like how you're able to come in and whether you're a novice or just want to have fun, you can just go in and just enjoy this game that you love. Like holy crap, there's so much you can do. It's open to anyone. You can do it. You can have fun. You can experience something that you probably never thought you could experience in a long time with a game that you've played like in 10, 20 years. Like there's trying to remember this one. I remember I saw a video. It was like Xavier, I think it was Xavier Woods or who was it? He's the guy who's trying to like be the new G4 host.
Oh,
He's a wrestler.
it might be Xavier. I didn't know he was trying to be a G4 host.
Yeah, no, I think it's him. No, something Creed. No, so he was like this wrestler, and he was like a well-known like geeky dude, even in the WWE or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched WWE in a long time, so you can't. I'm sorry, but he entered Evo and went up against like this well-known Evo yeah, well-known tournament guy for I think it was Street Fighter, and he lost. And he was like, "That's all I wanted, dude. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to go against you. This is like I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, bro. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I'm good." And it was let's see if I can find it real quick. Austin Creed. That's his name.
What's his name?
Austin Creed.
Hmm.
Yeah, he has his own YouTube channel too. This is pretty funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's I think that's what I'm saying. That what makes the FGC is this community that you have in the love for fighting games,
Yeah.
and because that's really the beautiful part about it. And you can find like anything involving fighting games, you can find something about it. Like this is like I said, this is whole like fight stick culture. Like you have your own fight stick. I remember there's like these people who would build and customize their own fight sticks. I saw this dude on YouTube who like had a Guitar Hero guitar,
Yeah.
like the 5 buttons and 6 buttons, or whatever, and he modded it. He and his buddies modded it so that he can play a fighting game with it by just replacing the little flip bar or whatever into
Yeah.
a joystick. And he's just like playing. Looks like he's playing guitar while playing a fighting game. And I'm just like, what? What? Hold on, what? That's crazy. What?
Yeah, and Core Gaming, I believe they interviewed a guy who entered a Guilty Gear tournament using a steering wheel.
A steering wheel. What? What is going on here? And like, yeah, there's guys like Corey Gaming, Don't Hold Back to Block, and they were Maximillian. And there's a lot of different people that you would find talking about the HCC where you can go and learn more. And chances are, if there's a fighting game that you really enjoy, and there's a reason why I say Street Fighter, because Street Fighter, like Mortal Kombat, those are the games that most people I think would know how to play and how to be and would be interested in. You can go in and like just like look at guys like I said earlier, Daigo Mahara, Justin Wong, um, Alex Valle.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Pumpko. Who Tokido? He was the guy who won 2017, right? Or was it 2018 with Akuma?
I'm trying to remember. Damn, I can't remember which one, what year it was, but yeah, I do remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that was at Evo too. But I'm saying, like like I said, it's the sort that there's always like these cool, interesting stuff. Heck, tournament wise, it's also a big thing. I personally, aside from Evo, I would have loved to gone to a combo breaker because, from my understanding, that's like a music festival mixed with a fighting game community tournament. So I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
You have CEO, which is basically like, I remember they had like
it's like a wrestling theme tournament.
Oh hell yeah, it's wrestling because apparently the top 8 players get to have their own entrance theme and like entrance music. Like if you were a fucking WWE wrestler, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Can I have like the John Cena's theme song as I walk out and pretend to be like, you can't see me, kind of shit.
Yeah, you even have like both of the players that they entered a wrestling ring just to play a fighting game.
It's so like there's something special about the fighting game community that's just a lot of fun and a lot of love and a lot of respect, and like just everyone, you can see all these different personalities and they all love the same thing as you do. It's one of the most interesting things. And like I said, I might start putting like links in the descriptions for the YouTube video and our audio versions for guys to go out and look check these out, and maybe guys can join us in love fun of fighting games. Maybe you can hit me up for a Street Fighter fight. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and also keep in mind you don't have to be like a serious, super competitive dude who always have to enter
No,
tournaments or anything at all. No, I
no.
mean you could be just like me. Like when I first started getting into fighting games, like yeah, like I wanted to be good. They really it really didn't matter to me, just to pay attention to like what goes on with tournament states and all that stuff. But you can still make friends online just playing games at your own home.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be something as big as I'm going to every tournament. I'm going to win. I was like, no, I just want to hang out with my buddies and just play a lot of fighting games, and maybe go check out some like streams of people playing games online or tournaments.
Yeah, like if
That's
people
just
online
it.
can be nice too. Like I know I played fighting games where people they were give me tips saying like, okay, you're doing this too much, you're making it predictable, you got to change it up and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and me and Eli, we never met at a tournament or anything like that. We were just like hanging out, somewhere, and then we're just starting talking about
yeah.
Marvel.
That's how we became friends.
Yeah,
Just like I think it was over Smash too.
yeah, I think Smash and Marvel.
Yeah, because like I mean, Marvel baby.
Marvel,
Like that's what
baby.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of personality. Like when it comes to like say Marvel vs. Capcom, there's terms and phrases that people that are associated with that in the FGC, like Marvel baby.
Like Marvel, baby, or like you want me to show you how to do a motherfucking infinite?
All right.
Yeah,
There's so much energy and enjoyment that you can get from the FGC. That's oftentimes you be like, yeah, it doesn't really match with anything I've seen with. Like I said, Yipes and Hell Pockets, they're like the most craziest commentators I've ever seen in my life.
yeah.
Like the whole what was it? It was a Dragon Ball Fighters. I think it was Goichi and Leffen, where Hell Pockets was screaming his heart out, and I mean, so was Yipes. But he said something very funny to me that still lasted. And it was because like one of the players was blocking and dashing and doing whatever to avoid getting hit, and he was like, "This man has the reactions of a 25-year-old cheetah," and I'm like, "What does that even mean?"
I mean,
25. I don't think they live past 25. I don't.
I mean, yeah, it gets
And like,
crazy.
yeah, no, it gets crazy, and it's just a lot of fun. And don't get granted, most of the times you probably have to know what's going on in the game to be hype. But it's one of those games where like I don't know what's going on. I just know it looks cool,
Yeah,
and it's like I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a community with a bunch of people that love and enjoy this sort of thing. And I think a lot of people who, if you never listened to it, if you never played one, I think go for it. There's a variety of fighting games out there for you to enjoy. If you are, I suggest checking out some of the stuff from competitive. It's amazing. You'll fall in love with the game all over again. Because I think that's how it was for what was it? That was for me with Street Fighter. Because I was always kind of okay with it, but then I started seeing like these top players. I'm like, damn, I want to get good like that.
yeah.
I don't know if ever be good like that, but I want to try at least. And I've developed a new love for the game. And like I said, I'm an Akuma main. Most of the time, I played Akuma because he looks cool. Now
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Akuma. If I knew how to play him right, I'm about to destroy some dude, kind of stuff. And that's just us talking now, just gushing over the FGC, which I hope you guys enjoyed. But we're coming to the time, and we're about to wrap up. And I think Daniel needs to be somewhere too.
It's, mm, not necessarily, but yeah.
Yeah. But no, thank you guys for checking us out, and just me and Daniel talking about the GC. It was a very fun episode today, and I really enjoyed. We talked a lot
Yeah, we have.
in different aspects, and that's what I was really wanted to do. I mean, I felt like I talked more, but
I
I'm
mean,
the host, whatever.
I mean, I think either way, we both would have said the same thing. So I don't think.
Yeah, we're both equally minded men.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for checking us out. Be sure to follow us on. Now that we're wrapping up, be sure to follow us on all social medias: Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the Geek Centurions. Be sure to listen to us on any of the podcasting sites like Castbox, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Pandora, any of them out there. Pretty sure check us out. Be sure to give us a good rating, please. Be honest with it. If you enjoyed it, give it a 5-star. If you didn't, tell me what I can do better. Tell us what we can do better. We're always looking out to do better stuff.
Yeah.
And what else is there to say? If you are on YouTube, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Give us a like. Helps us out. We want to make sure we're able to provide as much as we can to everyone who's listening to us, watching us in whatever format. And communicate with us. If you guys have an idea for a topic, or you want to tell us about your favorite FGC moment and why it's not just Evo Moment 37, because good lord.
Yeah, like another moment of love is like it's a goofy one. It's one. It's a Guilty Gear journey with Washige.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. The one where he popped off too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he was just so excited and he was like, he was in a match. He was playing his heart out. He won and he was like, yeah, jumped out, and then realized
one more round, just one more.
Oh, it's not over, and he immediately lost, and everyone just gives him shit for it. But he was a good guy.
Yeah, he took it like a champ.
Who was it? I think it was Pumpko, the guy who always takes off his shirt when he gets hyped.
What was his name?
I think it was Pumpko.
I've seen these people. I just can't remember their names.
Right. Don't get me wrong. I forget too. But no, it's been a fun episode, guys, and I hope you guys are just as enthralled as in the FGC as we are. We might do one on Smash community because that's a whole, like I said, that's a whole nother level.
I mean, yeah, like even debates whether Smash is a fighting game, but that's a whole.
We can go into that too. And it's but thanks guys for listening to us. Hope you guys enjoy it. And if you, like I said earlier, there's a fighting game that you're into, let us know. But yeah, this has been the boy.
I thought you were starting.
No, I was gonna.
I mean, well, this has been your boy Daniel,
and it's been your boy Eli, and we have been the Geek Centurions, and I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.